Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. Today it is June 21st. It is a Sunday and it is Father's Day. So the first thing that we want to start this video or this overall Sunday stock talk with is happy Father's Day to all the father figures out there. Appreciate everything that you do. And I really hope that, you guys have an absolute amazing day that's dedicated just for you. So without further ado, for those that are joining for the first time, what's going on? My name is Ricky. I run the largest YouTube channel and I run the largest Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market. We have a little bit over 800,000 subscribers. If you would like to stay connected and join our free Facebook group, it is free and it's that first link down below. You guys can feel free to refresh the page if you don't see the first link. But I really hope that throughout this video, you learn something new and that I really earn your thumbs up. So we try to keep things very simple within our Sunday stock talks. Pretty much this is because the stock market is only open Monday through Friday. We come together on Sundays, right before Monday, and we plan out and talk about the top stocks that not that I see value in, but that you all see value in. So this is exactly what I want to show as an example. So we got Michael posting his top stock in the ticker call out format. So he is sharing the ticker symbol, where he sees the support and resistance, his desired entry point, sell point, why he sees potential, all of that. So it's his plan. So I know that Michael has dedicated time to plan out his trade rather than being someone that might just be getting started and have no plan at all, right? At the end of the day, one of the things that we want to preach within this YouTube channel is that there is not one perfect way to do everything. There's many different ways on how you can approach the stock market and still get that same end result, which is making a profit, right? We're never here to tell you what to do, but more empower you to make sure that you do whatever it is that makes the most sense for you with the overall idea of how important it is to manage that risk. So let's go ahead and get started. I really hope, again, that if you learned something new or that if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and make sure you smash that like button. So let's go ahead and get this started. I spoke or saw Michael's post already, so might as well break it down. So this is ticker symbol NIO. What's going on, Michael Mendez? I appreciate you posting it in the ticker call out format, and I appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday to join us. So one of the first things that I like to focus on is there's three main things, right? You guys might be asking, well, Ricky, one of the first things that I want to share is I am sharing my opinion in this video. Just because we might have different opinions doesn't mean that we're right or you're wrong or anything like that. It's you're entitled to your own opinion, and if my opinion makes sense to you, then great, and if it doesn't, then all power to you, right? I'm just here to share my 2 cents. One of the things that I really like to focus on is direction, right? Making sure that the overall upside is worth it, margin of profit, right? And then that we have overall confirmation of that overall direction. So I like the direction. I like the consistency of the pattern, right? This is ticker symbol NIO, and it looks like it's been doing a very good job holding above the SMA line. It's been making higher highs, higher lows, all that good stuff. This just looks, and correct me if I'm wrong, it meets my criteria when it comes down to overall direction. Do we not agree that it's much easier to make money when something is increasing already in value, right? When direction is in your favor, great. Patterns there, consistency's there. The last thing is opportunity cost. I do agree. It has been very consistently profitable, but what is one thing, looking at ticker symbol NIO, I'm not saying that it can't continue to go up. All I'm saying is based off of the past 180 days, it's a little overbought, right? I think that we can all kind of agree. I'm not just I'm a deal hunter. I don't know about you guys, but I like to make sure that wherever it is that I put my money, especially as a day trader, that I take into consideration that I'm getting it for a good deal, right? And as of right now, I do agree. Direction and the overall pattern is in your favor for NIO. I just feel like overall, right now, this thing is much more on the overbought side. It just made 180-day highs. And it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it begins to pull back, especially if the overall market direction were to, again, show signs of a descending pattern. It looks like the overall market is actually up on the day, so if it holds like this, then it should be a green day for a lot of different things. But as of right now, NIO has been doing an amazing job showing signs of higher highs and higher lows. I'm going to set my alert. Well, it looks like my alert is already set right around $7.75, but I'm also going to set my alert. There's nothing wrong that if you do want to take part of this overall uptrend, that at least you do your part in getting it for a good deal, so then you can, be able to buy it for the dip and then sell it for a profit. I just don't necessarily see that. Again, you guys might be asking, well, Ricky, why wouldn't you see that to be worth it? It's not what I'm like. It's just for my own preference. It's just a little bit more on the overbought side. And because of that, I just probably would not be someone, especially if you're more on the investing side or on the swing trade side. One of the things that I would take into consideration is, does it have more upside margin versus downside margin, right? It hit previous highs at $7.63. It closed at $7.34. So taking that into consideration, the upside is about 5%. The downside, if it pulls back to the SMA line, is about 35%. So, the upside does not outweigh the downside, in my opinion. And can it continue to go up? Of course. If the fundamentals are there, of course. It just looks like it's gone on a very positive rally for the past 2 weeks. And it makes sense that, a correction or something like we saw maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, where it pulled back and then broke below the EMA line, waiting for that good deal, waiting for that opportunity where you can buy it and see if it continues to uptrend after we get that confirmation. But that's just my 2 cents on ticker symbol NIO. Sorry that I took too long on that one, but I hope that I shared enough with you, Michael. So here it goes. So we got ticker symbol SHLL. SHLL. Here we go. So I appreciate you posting that in ticker call out format. I don't like trading pump and dumps. So this thing, you can obviously tell, had no volume whatsoever. A huge increase in volume, pushed up to highs of $17.73. So I'm not too sure if you found this through, what would it be? Scanners or through group chats or stock twits or anything like that, or someone recommended it to you. I understand why you're paying attention to it, right? It pushed up 37% on Friday. That makes sense. Like that makes sense on why you're like, whoa, what's going on here, right? It's just, there's not enough history. I made a video, I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys haven't watched this video, I use ticker symbol GNUS, Genius Brands, right, as an example. But I talked about penny stocks. If you are someone that is just getting started in the stock market, and if there were to be a video, if you're interested in penny stocks, I would highly encourage you to watch this video. I know it's a long video, it's 15 minutes, but I can't stress it enough on how important it is for you to not just focus on how much money can I make because it pushed up 37% on Friday, right? But also take into consideration on how much money you could lose. I do agree you could make money doing anything. That's not the point though, right? You just want to make sure that you have an understanding of what you're doing, and it's a high risk, high reward. And I just feel like a majority of beginners that get into penny stocks might not fully understand the risk involved. And that's just kind of the barrier that I'm trying to break with you guys, for you guys to have that understanding. So I personally wouldn't touch this. I don't, like lower cap stocks. What's going on, Chris? Hope you're having an amazing day. Appreciate you tuning on in. So here we go. So we got Brandon with ticker symbol XSPA. XSPA, here we go. Alrighty, so on the 180-day chart, you guys liked focusing on lower cap stocks today. So looks like we had a really strong push to highs of $9.21. I know nothing about this. It went through a reverse stock split. That's not always the best sign. So looks like it's, as of right now, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I don't know anything about the company. Just on the technical side, I don't know if you're just paying attention to it because it previously hit highs of $9.21. That's irrelevant, right? This thing has a history of making lower lows, lower highs. I'm not too sure if it's been recently pumped or why it went through a reverse stock split. But as of right now, it's making higher lows and lower highs, right? Lower highs and lower lows, meaning that it's not showing, right? If your intention is to increase the value of your portfolio, why are you focusing on stocks that are consistently selling off? Just think about that, right? I do agree that if it does begin to indicate signs of an uptrend, it's something that you can take into consideration. Just know that it has a history of consistently selling off, and it is viewed as a lower cap stock, right? But that's up to you. So just a heads up on that. So let's see. Alrighty, I do want to remind you, and I'm going to stop because it looks like Ishmael might be having trouble with some of the people in the chat. So I do want to remind you, right? We got Alien Rivera, we got Oscar. I'm sorry, dude. What's going on, man? So we got Mike, Flappy Lava. I do want to remind you, the only way I will break down, right, your stock is if you take time to post it in the ticker call out format. All I want is for me to know that you've taken time to plan out your trade. Think about it this way. How do you expect someone like myself to take time out of my day to assist you if you can't even take time out of your own day to plan out your trade? It is all for you. At the end of the day, it makes no difference to me, right? I want to remind you that every single time that you take a trade, I'm sorry if it bugs you, but of how important it is for you to plan out your trade. Because when you're planning out your trade, you can maybe see, hey, this might not actually be worth it. That's what I want you to kind of go through in your head before you actually execute on that trade. I want you to be able to avoid any avoidable, not so great opportunities. Do you get what I mean? And I'm sorry for being annoying. I'm sorry for having to repeat this. I just know that we have a lot of people joining us, and I just want to do my part in encouraging you. Okay, looks like people are just get back to the breakdowns. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Ben. So ticker symbol X. What's going on, Ben? So ticker symbol X, here we go. All righty, so so I'm very well aware of what this is. This is United States Steel Corporation. So it looks like, again, this thing was consistently selling off. It has been showing signs of potential higher highs, especially after its recent highs and hitting highs of 11. It did almost this double top, aggressively sold off. I see why you're paying attention to this. I definitely do, right? Because of where it's at right now. I'm not even going to take $8 into consideration because I wouldn't buy it right now. This thing is selling off. I would set my alert for indication of an uptrend. Simple idea. Isn't it so much easier? Ask yourself. Think about the trades that you've taken and the ones that have gone extremely well. Isn't it so much easier to make money in the stock market when the overall direction is in your favor? When something is already increasing in value and you just put money into it and it continues to rally, isn't that so great? So why not just do our part in setting alerts, waiting for confirmation of indication of an uptrend, right? Higher highs, something that it's not selling off, right? Not trying to buy the dip and hoping it reverses, but actually allowing the opportunity to present itself. Because even from like $8 to around $9 to highs of about 11, right? It doesn't have to hit 11, but the potential is 24%. Let's say you even catch 5 or 10% of that. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. But how do you approach an opportunity like this? You set up structure, discipline, alerts, right? And you follow up with it when it makes sense. So you don't have to ride the whole thing. It doesn't have to hit highs of $11, but allow your actions today to be something your future self can thank you for, right? Set yourself up for success. I'm going to set my alerts here at $9, another one at $10, but just like we know, right? Just as much as it has the potential to go up, what do we always encourage you to take into consideration? The downside potential, right? It can continue to drop. Nothing has to recover. This isn't like, what is it? It's like the overall idea of what goes up must come down. Not necessarily. Not for penny stocks, right? Not for overall stocks. Something can go down and it can continue to go down until it gets delisted. Something you have to take into consideration. So I'm going to set alerts on both sides. So I appreciate that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead, and we've broken down 4. We're going to be breaking down 6 more. Let's see. Who do we got tuning in today? Let's see it. Alrighty. Alrighty. Looks like it froze for a little bit. Ooh. All right, so this is going to be a pretty popular one. This is American Airlines. What's going on, Amar? I appreciate you taking time and posting it in the ticker call out format. So American Airlines, let's break this one down very quickly. This is going to be almost for the overall airline industry. I made a video talking about American Airlines as it was approaching a technical support level, right? And we talked about the idea of the coronavirus getting worse. And as world, not statewide, right? The overall United States are now taking more measures to, reduce the overall idea of the infection. At least in Arizona, it's been getting really, really bad. And they've put kind of like more restrictions now where after 5 o'clock, even in the city that I live in, that you have to wear a face mask, right? When you enter restaurants or public businesses. So it makes sense that as fear of the coronavirus getting worse, that less people are going to be willing to fly. It makes sense, right? Like, why did we see the initial drop? Of course, right? A lot of our focus right now is with the overall increase in data that's been shown. Of course, we are testing more now than ever before, but overall, as there tends to be more and continuous fear and overall increase of cases, in my opinion, I just feel like less people are going to be willing to travel or to go through the overall airports. So will airlines such as American Airlines be a company that's affected? I definitely think so, right? But we've seen it before where even things have gotten worse, yet the overall airline industry receives some form of positive news and it pushes up. So the reason that I made the video that I made about 3-4 days ago is to the overall idea is I wanted you guys to be informed on both sides. That yes, I do agree, coronavirus cases are getting worse. This can have a negative influence on the airline industry. Something that we can, I think, all understand, right? But with that being said, if there's any form of news that can act as a positive catalyst to drive the prices up for the airline industries, it wouldn't catch me by surprise as we went from like $10 to highs of $22 in a matter of like 2 to 3 days, right? So as of right now, I set my alert for the break above 17, and now I want to follow up to see if it actually makes new lows and it breaks below $14. Do I think it can drop back down to $10? I think that would be I don't know. I think that there's enough like stability within the overall idea of people are kind of now accustomed to the idea of the coronavirus. I don't see it really getting worse unless we see an overall huge market pullback. But I can see it getting lower than where it's at right now. $14 wouldn't really surprise me. If it pulls back to the SMA line, which is around $12, $13, it wouldn't really surprise me, right? I think that it still has some leeway, but I'm very excited to follow up with it, especially if you are looking into investing long-term and you see long-term potential, not just in American Airlines, of course, but the overall airline industry, then this is something that I'm definitely taking into consideration for an overall industry that I'm following up with and definitely keeping a closer eye on. So I really do appreciate this call out, and I'm also going to set my alert for the break below $15 just so we can see kind of where it goes from there. But there's a lot to follow up with, especially with the overall airline industry. Alrighty. So we got ticker symbol BIOC. What's going on, Trenton? All right, let's go through these a little bit quicker. So BIOC, this one's kind of all over the place. It looks like it has and experiences random pushes from time to time. So this is definitely a lower cap stock. It's a penny stock. It's trading at 86 cents. This is, first off, not something that I would trade, right? Penny stocks come at a high risk, high reward. I don't personally trade penny stocks. With that being said, you just have to understand when you're either part of the rally or you're not, right? Can it continue to uptrend? Of course, anything can happen. But looking at previous patterns on the 180-day chart, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if we see this thing pull back to the SMA line, which would lose 40% of its value. So don't always just think about, well, what if it goes back to $1.24? If you're going to think about it with that mindset, I want you to also ask yourself, hey, what if it goes back to 40 cents? What if it goes back to 50 cents? Don't just focus on how much money you can make, but also take into consideration how much money you could lose. Because if you're so sold on the idea that it has to go up, just know that it's traded more in the 40-cent range than it has in the $1.24 range. It's hit that once. In comparison to the past 180 days, it's traded for a majority of its time sub 50 cents. So just have that understanding, right, before you take that initial trade. So what's going on, Shelby? What's up? What's up? So let's see what this is. Alrighty, so this one's all over the place. Definitely a little bit more on the overbought side. MACD, I can see why you're paying attention to it based off the MACD. I just have to say, first of all, this is not something that I would trade. This is definitely a lower cap stock based off of previous highs at $2.05. Again, does the upside outweigh the downside? Can you make money? Yes, you can make money doing anything. Does it make sense? That's what I need you to start taking into consideration. Does the upside potential outweigh the downside risk? Does 14% potential or 12% potential outweigh a 50% loss? I think that's something that you could each individually answer, right? It's up to you. Of course, you can manage your risk differently, but you need to have some form of risk management in place. And it needs to be top notch if you're going to trade lower cap stocks like this. So we got Brandon with ticker symbol MIST. MIST. Here we go. Man, you guys are all for these lower cap stocks this week. So pharmaceutical dropped to $4.35. This just would not be something that I would touch myself. It looks like it's something that's consistently showing signs of a slight recovery. I'm not missing out on anything, right? I don't know if I just don't like pharmaceutical companies. I've had really bad experiences. They're always all waiting for FDA approval and they never actually get approved. And if they do, they're very short-lived and then they end up pulling back right away. Pharmaceutical, bioscience, what is the other one? Cannabis. I've just had such poor experiences. And again, that's just my opinion. But you need to be aware of like when things, I don't want to say things are too good to be true, but like we're not missing out on anything here, right? Is this really like a long-term play where you want to buy and just hold? And if it is, that's up to you. I'm not here to tell you not to do it. I'm here to more focus on day trades. And this just, although it is making slight recovery, this just isn't something that's up my alley when it comes down to something that I would feel comfortable trading. I trade with $50,000. Would I really want to put $50,000 in something that, has traded from, that dropped from $20 down to $4 and has been really struggling to make a recovery in comparison to the overall market, right? So just something to take into consideration. What's going on, Dom? So I appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. Here we go, ticker symbol FRO. All right, so this one's a little bit different. So this is ticker symbol FRO at $7.60. I see why you're paying attention to this. So looking at previous support ranges, right? It's not like one of the things that we also have to get over is the overall idea of when I first got started trading, I was always looking at exact price points. One of the things that I want to share with you is, at least in my experience, it's not about exact price points. It's not that it has to bounce at $7 because it's bounced there before. It's a general support range and general resistance range. So it has a tendency to find a support right around $7 to $7.30. That's great. And it has a tendency to get rejected by the SMA line, as we can see right here, right? Every time that it touches this green line, which is the SMA line, which is the simple moving average, it gets rejected and then drops. Pushes up, gets rejected, and then drops. Pushes up, gets rejected, and then drops. Overall, this is showing signs of a horizontal support with a descending resistance, right? It's continuously making lower highs with that same support range. If this is something that you want to take into consideration, that's up to you, right? The upside based off of previous patterns would be right around a 6% gain versus if you stop loss, if it drops below 735, a 4% loss. I don't know if that matches your risk to reward ratio. This just wouldn't be in a sense something that I would care too much. It has a lot to prove, and trust me, I do see its previous pattern. When it comes down to frontline, I do see that it was trading above the SMA line. It was making higher highs, and then the coronavirus pandemic hit, and then it just knocked it all out of place. I do agree with you. It would make sense that if it does begin to indicate signs of recovery, this might be something that I might want to follow up with. But as of right now, it just isn't showing any of that, potential recovery. So until I get indication of a recovery, or higher highs, or higher lows, or signs of growth, then why would I bother putting my money in something that is continuously just either consolidating or making lower highs? Do you get what I mean? So I set alerts on both sides, and we could follow up with it then. Alrighty, so I would talk about ticker symbol GNUS, Josh, but just a heads up, I did talk about that yesterday. So if you guys haven't watched yesterday's video, you guys can go to the YouTube channel, and it does not only talk about GNUS, but it talks about the overall risk of lower cap stocks. So here we go, ticker symbol. All right, Fiona. So ticker symbol auto. Here we go. Nope, I don't like this one either. Consistent descending pattern, lower lows, lower highs. It did recently break above the SMA line. The best way for me to put this is this has so much to prove because it's been selling off for such a long period of time, right? Yes, it did recently begin to break above the SMA line, and yes, it can push up. It's a dollar stock. It comes at a high risk, high reward. If this is something that you want to partake in, that's up to you. This is very short-lived, more of a rally, and something that, again, when you're up, and it's time to lock in profits because just as quick as it goes up, it drops just as quick. Pushes up, drops just as quick. High risk, high reward. And again, if you haven't done so already, please watch the video that I made yesterday talking about penny stocks. So let's go ahead and I'm going to break down two more. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time, especially during Father's Day. So two more and then we'll call it a day. What's going on, Swaggy? So BYFC. So I just want some BYFC. I just want some good stocks. So what's up with these lower cap stocks today? So pump and dump. I'm not even going to count that. I'm going to do two more. So I don't trade pump and dumps. Obvious signs of pump and dumps. No volume. All of a sudden, huge pushes. High risk, high reward. Not something that I would want to touch. All right. Jonathan, CEMI. CEMI. Here we go. Alrighty, so this is at $3.55, still a little bit lower. It looks like it had a strong rejection. I would look into what caused it to pull back. There's a reason. So we tend to call these gappers, right? When it creates a huge gap from when it closed to when it opened, and then it's been descending ever since. One of the things that I want to remind you is this isn't like the law of gravity, right? What goes up must not, like, what's the overall idea of like what goes up doesn't have to come down, and vice versa, right? What goes up or what goes down doesn't have to come up. CMI had a huge drop for a reason, right? And we've seen many times where they can continue to bleed in price and never actually recover. So never be sold on the idea of it has to recover. I would first look into what caused it to sell off. Is it detrimental to the company? And can it actually recover? And is it going to show signs of indication of a recovery? That's the most important thing that I would look for. First, ask yourself what happened, and then wait for indication of a recovery. Instead of trying to be someone that buys the dip and holds it, just because it's sold off, how much is this? That's about 65%. You could buy here, and it could go back to lows of $2.25. $2.25, and it could drop another 30%. Don't be someone that is a hopeful trader. Be someone that understands what they are doing, right? Have some form of plan or understanding involved. So I still want to do two more. Let's talk about this one, Brian, because I know that's a pretty safe one. SPY. So SPY is the S&P 500 ETF. So pretty much when the S&P 500 goes up, so does SPY, right? One of the things that we can take into consideration is that this has been a very consistent ascending uptrend pattern. I definitely see why you're paying attention to it, right? It's testing this SMA line as it's tested multiple times before. So by being able to buy the dip, we can ride the recovery and sell it at previous highs. If that margin of profit for you is worth it, then great, so be it. But it also has not shown confirmation of a recovery. Just like that, since we're on the topic of SPY, let's also take TQQs for an example, right? This is the NASDAQ ETF, right? So when NASDAQ goes down, so does this. When NASDAQ goes up, then so does this. This one's triple leverage, right? So one of the things that you have to understand is we're at a resistance. Does it have pullback potential? Of course. If we get that indication of an uptrend, then we'll see signs of slow recovery. But as of right now, I still think that the overall market has a lot to prove. And especially if you're going to be paying attention to SPY, then I personally think that it would be in your best interest to also be paying attention to /ES, which is the S&P 500 future. And as of right now, it looks like it's opening green. So it looks like this would be in favor of SPY. So I'm excited to follow up with what ends up happening to this one. All right, so Groupon. What's going on, Nathan? Mid-cap stock. I love how you highlighted that. What's going on, Nathan? So Groupon, GRPN. I like it. I'm down to break this one down. So if I do remember, it went through a reverse stock split, 1 in 20 reverse stock split. That's never a good sign, right? It was probably trading at a very low price point. Had a huge push up, highs of 30, huge pullback. I see why you're paying attention to it. It's seen a lot of consolidation based off of previous support levels. I get that. Now we just need to wait for confirmation of an uptrend. There is no, if you guys see the last time that it pulled back, it found a support here right around $20, and then it bounced up and hit highs of 30. This is huge. From $20, right? It hit highs of $30. That's a 51% gain. That's huge. Now, can it do it again? I don't know. But we can set our alerts, and if this is something that you see value in, set your alerts, and if it gets indication of an uptrend, then guess what? You can follow up with it and then begin to ask yourself, hey, now we're actually showing signs of growth. This might be something that I might want to follow up with, or potentially want to, out of every stock that we've broken down so far, this has to be my favorite. Not because I think it's going to recover, but because it makes the most sense, right? Also, just as much as it can go up, it can go down, right? So take that into consideration instead of trying to be someone that buys the dip and you're like, it has to recover. No, it doesn't. Right? It can go from $20 back down to $9, especially after going through a reverse stock split. So instead of being someone that then loses 50% of their account, again, it's the simple things in life that people tend to overcomplicate. So if all you have to do is wait for confirmation to follow up with something to see if it's something that you potentially see value in, then why not just keep it simple, right? Set your alerts, add it to your watch list, and if it's something that you see value in, then, formulate a plan. But no, I appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. So thank you again for that. Should we do one more? One more? I don't know if we got Ismail here. Do we got Ismail tuning on in? How many likes do we have in this live stream? I don't know. How many likes do we have in this? Meg?
214.
214. How many people do we have watching live right now?
1,706.
So we got 1.6K? 1.7K? 1.7K people tuning on in right now.
Oh, now there's 360 likes.
What's up?
Sorry.
I'm live. What's up?
I know. Nothing. I already heard something.
So we have 1.7K people tuning on in, and we can't even hit 500 likes. Cool. I'm here breaking down your guys' top stocks, and we can't hit 500 likes.
We're almost there.
I'm a little offended. Just a little love, right? Every Sunday.
We hit 500.
Every Sunday. Who shows up here? Who shows up here every freaking Sunday for the past 3 years? Who? I'm gonna drop the mic right here. You see that? You hear that? Sorry, headphone users. You hear that? Every Sunday. Who shows up? Me and you. Me and you. And I haven't earned your like? What? The audacity. The nerve. You know what I'm going to do just because of that? You know what I'm going to do? I don't know. Yeah, I want to make you guys laugh. But no, I really do appreciate you guys tuning on in. So let's go ahead and break down a couple more stocks. I hopefully made you guys laugh. I was going to finish right there, but let's go ahead and break down what? 3 more stocks? Let's keep it short. Let's keep it sweet. Hopefully I break down one of your stocks and let's enjoy it. And hopefully then you can drop a like in this video. How about that? Carvana, CVNA. So we got CVNA. Here we go. So Carvana is huge. I don't know if you guys know this, but if I'm not mistaken, for any company that's publicly traded, especially in the state of Arizona, the owner of Carvana is the richest person in Arizona. Fun little fact, right? If I'm not mistaken, hit previous highs. It's absolutely killing it, dominating the overall car market. Even during the pandemic, it just was skyrocketing, hitting highs of 180-day highs, 127.38. Yes, I do agree. It's doing great. It's overbought. I like the consistency. I like the direction. It's overbought. I would rather be someone that buys it for a good deal. This is definitely something that long-term I can see continue to increase in value. And this would be something that I would add to my investing portfolio and not so much of my day trading portfolio. It doesn't move enough for me to care to focus on it as a day trade. It's a company, in my opinion, just that because we opened up, we're one of the youngest people here in Arizona to own a car dealership, right? With Weston and Caleb. And Carvana and how they're doing things are just completely different. And it's just, we have a lot to learn when it comes down to what they offer and how they offer it. And I just see so much value in them. So I'm going to set my alert for the break below 120. We can set our alerts there. And just as much as it could go down, it can go up. So I'm excited to follow up with it. And hopefully it can continue to indicate signs of an uptrend. But again, just because I like something doesn't mean that I have to blindly buy it. Why not just do our part in waiting for a pullback, waiting for a good deal, and then buying when it makes sense? How about that? So that's going to be the word of the day. How about that? All right. So when your parents tell you something like, go clean your room, you're like, how about that? I'm just kidding. Don't be disrespectful. Here it goes. LABU. LABU. All right, so the inverse of LABU, of course, is LABD, something that you should just be well aware of, right? If we're going to talk about the one that's bullish right now, we should talk about the bearish. Overbought. Previous highs, $55. You guys can see based on just because it's previous highs, I do agree, it can continue to indicate signs of an uptrend. So I at least like that you're paying attention to something that is increasing in value, but based off of previous resistance levels, right? Just in the past 180 days and really the past 2 months, you can see that it has a very common resistance level, which it struggles to break above. It doesn't hold for a very long period of time above $55. So it would make sense that it could pull back. And because of that, instead of just focusing on LABU, then maybe setting your alerts also for LABD if you get confirmation. Huge risk with LABD, as you can see. It's a consistent descending pattern. If you suck at cutting losses, definitely not something that you probably want to partake in. As simple as that. Then focus on, we can then go back to LABU, wait for a pullback, wait for it to find a support, just like it did last time, and then wait for indication of a reversal. How about that? Right. Let's do one more. How about? Oh man, I need to chill out with that word. All right, Drake Parker, that's a pretty solid name. And okay. Alrighty. Nokia. Consistent uptrend pattern hitting previous highs of around $5. Again, I like the consistency aspect. I like that you're focusing on something that's been showing signs of an uptrend. I think that it's in the very early stages of this thing pulling back, just like it did last time, and then maybe making a slight recovery. But altogether, this looks very overbought for me. I don't feel like, and again, this might just be my opinion, but I haven't really heard of Nokia being a company that's like innovating this market, right? I think if anything, they're falling behind, but that just might be me needing to take a little bit more time to inform myself. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You guys can let me know in the comment section. But as of right now, it looks more overbought than it does a good deal. So because of that, I'd have to walk out. But it looks like we've gone through quite a bit of this. Josh, we've broken down GNUS. I talked to you about it, GNUS. I made a video about it yesterday. Yes, I do understand. It's a consistent, first of all, it's a pump and dump, right? No volume, all of a sudden, a lot of volume. Huge pump and dump, making lower highs, went from $11.73 to now trading at $3. It does not surprise me. I made a video when it hit $11.73, and I made a video talking about when to walk away, when to be able to have red flags and be like, hey, this is a pump and dump. There's obvious signs. Can this thing go up? Can you make money on GNUS? You can make money on anything. Can this thing push up? Of course. It has a tendency to break above the EMA line, have a very short-lived rally after it gets halted multiple times throughout the day, and then it falls right back. The idea or your concern should not be, hey, can I make money trading something? But more of a focus on, hey, is this trade worth trading? That's simple. Does the upside outweigh the downside? And if it's worth it for you, I don't have to agree with you. You guys know from the very beginning, I don't care what it is that you guys do. If it makes sense to you, then do it, right? I'm never here to convince you on what to trade, what to buy, where to sell. I'll never tell you any of that. Please, all I ask you to do is before you blindly buy anything, before you blindly trade or invest in anything, do yourself a favor. And because the stock market is so accessible, again, it's the very simple things in life that people overcomplicate. The stock market is so accessible. And because it's so accessible, it's so easy to make mistakes. I've made them so many times. I'm never here to say that I'm a perfect trader or that I just was born a perfect trader. It's understand the idea of learning from your mistakes. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Don't get lucky on trades. Understand the trade opportunities that you choose to take advantage of. That's simple. So I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. It looks like we have a bunch of other people that are posting tickers or stock tickers, and they're not even in the ticker call-out format. I again, with all due respect, first of all, you do not need to pay me to break down your stock, and especially if you don't even post it in the ticker call-out format, I'm less likely to break it down for you. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can join our free Discord chat. So let me just remind you on that. Our free Discord chat, if you guys refresh your page, click the first link down below, it will send you on over to our free Facebook group. And then our free Discord chat is a top pin post. I also wanted to ask you, if I'm not mistaken, we are approaching, when is that going to be? The end of the month. And it's not going to be this week, but let me know. Should we host our free live trading session this Friday? So on the 26th of June, should we host our free live trading session? How many likes are we at?
856.
856. So should we host it at the end of this Friday, or should we host it in the beginning of the following week? You guys let me know. As long as this video, I was going to say 2,000 likes, but I feel so disrespected that I only had 200 likes when there were 1,700 of you. How about this? We'll let it decide. If this video gets over 3,000 likes, I'll host the live trading session this Friday. And if it doesn't by Friday, right, then I'll host it the following week. Sound good? But we'll definitely be hosting a free live trading session so you guys can get a taste of what it's like to watch me trade live. Never host it again. All right. I'll never, just because of that. Who was that? So just kicks. Never host it again. All right, you guys heard. So if you guys have anyone to blame, I'm never, because of just nerve, going to host a free live trading session once again. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that you guys had a good time with me. I hope that you guys had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed a couple of the stocks that we broke down. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you guys did, I really hope, we joke around a lot, but I really hope that we earned your thumbs up, and maybe you can consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Also, don't forget, if you guys click the third link down below or visit the Shop TechBud site, we do have new apparel. If you guys haven't checked it out, we have the Hustle Hard tees, which is actually the one I'm wearing, and the Day Trader tank top. The Day Trader shirt sold in 2 hours, so it's sold out in 2 hours. And then some of our flags, I believe a majority, the Bull flag. How many of you guys like the Bull flag? This one's sold out in, I think, 30 minutes. So hopefully we'll bring it back next week, but we have a couple other Day Trader flags, Day Trader with all the indicators, Hustle Humble and stuff like that. So you guys can check out the site. It's Shop Tech Buds, and it's down below. Altogether, I really do appreciate you guys' time. I wish you guys an absolute amazing rest of your day. Continue working hard. Continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, I'm one direct message away on Discord. If you're new to our Discord community, if you're new to our YouTube channel and you just want to say what's up, direct message me on Discord. All I ask you is please just keep it under 150 characters. Just a short and sweet message. Introduce yourself to me. What's your name? What's your goals? And what do you think I could assist you with? Small talk. At least I'll know your name and hopefully just get you one step closer to your overall goal. So again, to stay connected, it's our first link down below. I appreciate you guys' time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green now. Take it